Hello people and welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, my name is RDF Tactics and we do have a tactic today. Erik Ten Hag at Manchester United. What I've done is watch their most recent game against Nottingham Forest, a 3-0 win, very convincing in the Carabao Cup semi-final as well, the first leg, and what I've done is broke down their tactics and tried to replicate that into Football Manager. Also, what I am doing is my scouting courses. I've done my level 1 in talent identification, also opposition analysis, and I'm going to do my level 2. But before I do that, I want to do these videos where I'm kind of breaking down teams, and then it's basically practice. It's basically practice for me. So what I would like is some feedback, whether it's positive or negative. I don't really mind dropping any sort of feedback in the comment section or on my website when you go to download the tactic. Would be super helpful. So what I have got today is report cards. I've designed report cards, which is kind of, it's easier for us to break down tactics, look at what Manchester United done against Nottingham Forest, for us to then replicate that into Football Manager. We are going to look at a result in Football Manager first. We beat Crystal Palace 8-0. Then we're going to break down the tactic, look at it in Football Manager, look at the results and all of that good stuff. So let's get stuck into the video. Before we get stuck into the video, if you are new or you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed, have that notification bell turned on so you never miss a video similar to this one. Also in the comment section, leave a comment, that helps with the algorithm, but also you can request what tactic you would like to see next. Most importantly, smash and like really does help with the algorithm, helping this channel and this video grow, so that would be hugely appreciated. Let's get stuck in. So here we are against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford with a very convincing 8-0 win. Bruno Fernandes scoring 5 goals. We can look at some of the stats here as well. We had 30 shots at goal compared to their 5, 14 of those on target. We had a very respectable XG, 3.27. We definitely overperformed. 11 shots off target. We managed to hit the woodwork 3 times, created 9 half chances. Disappointingly, no clear-cut chances created, but we won 8-0. 12 of our 30 shots were long shots as well. We did have 74% of the ball. We had 9 corners, not really important, but we did complete our passes really well, especially in the defense and the midfield third. When it got to the attack, that's when we tried to do our risky actions, which is why our pass completion is at 81%. But let's have a look at the goals and how we scored some of these goals. So the first goal we scored was us building out from the back. Bruno plays it out wide, which is going to be very important when we talk about the match analysis. But Bruno collecting the ball here. So as you can see here, we've overloaded on the left hand side. The right hand side, of course, underloaded. And what Manchester United done really well against Nottingham Forest is overload one side, get the ball into the middle and quickly play it out to the underloaded side. And then it allows, well, in Manchester United, they got Anthony on the ball a lot, which allowed the 1v1 qualitative superiority on that right hand side. But here we've got Dalot here, and he's 1v1 against the Crystal Palace fullback Mitchell here. Here's Dalot, plays it back to Raphael Varane. Scott McTominay, Dalot, Varane. Patient build up here. Diego Dalot plays it into Scott McTominay. Bruno Fernandes looks for Sancho, who is playing the Rashford role, and there is 1-0. The second goal came from a free kick. Bruno Fernandes whipping it over the wall, even not the bar. Here's Fernandes, McTominay, WIFI with his back towards the goal. Again, something very important when we do talk about the match analysis for Manchester United in real life. WIFI always look to play with his back towards the goal, linking up play, and others can either run off or link up, especially around the box. Here's McTominay, WIFI with his back towards the goal. Dalot plays in Bruno Fernandes, and what a, oh, that's WIFI. That is WIFI, not Bruno. So here is the fourth goal. Martinez out wide, Malaysia, Fernandes. That is a lovely run there, and a nice finish by Bruno Fernandes. The fifth goal, Anthony out wide, looking for WIFI inside the box. Actually, we can pull this one a little bit back because there might have been some build-up play before that. So Palace clear the ball. McTominay wins the ball, plays it out wide to Dalot, and then here we are looking for our wide combinations and just looking to play it out wide generally. Here's Malaysia, puts the ball into the box. Bruno Fernandes smashes it in, and I've lost count of the score. I believe now this is the 6th goal. So here's Sancho, whips it in. WIFI, that is a lovely goal, by the way. That is why a WIFI is in the team for 7-0. Bruno Fernandes, free kick specialist on Football Manager. Bit of a free kick specialist. Here we are building up from the back again. Wan-Bissaka to Sancho. Sancho into Bruno. Bruno making some lovely runs off the ball. So against Palace, we scored some lovely goals. 8 of them, you could say. 8 lovely goals against Crystal Palace. Here again at Old Trafford, this time against Manchester City. And we won 4-0. Some convincing wins at home. Away from home, I feel we gave away way too many shots away from home. But then again, it is a replication. It was very difficult trying to fix that issue, but also staying within inside the Erik Ten Hag philosophy and ideas when it comes to the match tactics. So this here is against Manchester City, almost said United there, and we won 4-0, convincing win. So the first highlight starts with City on the ball, Kevin De Bruyne, and Manchester United winning the ball, Rafael Varane, and here we go. Lovely link up and combinations in the middle of the park. Here's Rashford out wide with Malaysia. Lovely link up between Rashford and Malaysia. Rashford comes in. That's a lovely first goal there for Manchester United. The second one, we kicked the ball long to where course is that? Yeah, we did, from the goalkeeper. Lovely stuff. David De Gea kicking the ball long. There was options to play it short, but he's actually just kicked it long. Weghorst winning the ball, knocking it down to Rashford. Plays it into the channel, back to Weghorst. He's going to play it hard and low into Bruno Fernandes. Again, another lovely goal from Manchester United. Here we're building out from the back, but Sancho spots a run from Rashford out on that left-hand side. He puts the ball into the box for Weghorst. 3-0 to Manchester United. And for the last goal, it was a penalty for Bruno Fernandes. So we saw a nice mixture of goals. We saw some nice ideas play out as well, especially playing out in those wider areas, linking up play combinations, also hitting the ball onto the underloaded side quickly, especially when we've overloaded one side of the pitch. So that there is how we scored some of our goals in Football Manager. What we are going to do now is look at my report cards from the match against Nottingham Forest, break down their tactics and what I saw from the game, and then in Football Manager we're going to replicate that in the tactic screen, in the tactic creator. So let's move on to the match analysis. So I split Manchester United's performance into 4 key areas: their build-up play, the middle third play, the final third, but also some defensive and transitional notes. We will start with the build-up. Manchester United's build-up against Nottingham Forest. This is my report card. It may need a little spruce up, but this is what I've got for now. So Manchester United, short distribution from the goalkeeper David De Gea, still looked to pass when under pressure, which told me that Manchester United looked to play out from the back. Manchester United attempted to play out from the back. I don't know why I've just put that there at the end. Manchester United did use a 4+2 build-up shape, constantly overloaded Nottingham Forest, with Nottingham Forest first line of pressure, and then Manchester United looked to encourage Nottingham Forest's press to then play it quickly to a free man during the build-up. So when it comes to the goalkeeper or the central defenders, they took their time with the ball and then they tried to encourage Nottingham Forest to press up, push up and press, but whilst doing so, Manchester United always had a free man where they could just quickly lay the ball off to that free man, and the fullbacks looked to play out wide with a double pivot staggered in the middle of the pitch when the ball was played from the goalkeeper. So we do have their shape here as well. As you can see, David De Gea, he tends to have 4 short options, which is out wide to the fullback or to the centre backs, and then we can also see their 4+2 shape. So we do have some match examples of what I just said as well. David De Gea playing a short pass when distributing the ball from the back. He also plays a short pass distributed from the back when Forest looked to put pressure on the goalkeeper. Again, this tells us that Manchester United really wanted to play out from the back today or against Nottingham Forest. Manchester United had an overload when building. Martinez quickly played a line breaking pass to the free man, which at the time was Christian Eriksen. As we can see here, there are 4 Manchester United players here, 3 Forest players pressing. Manchester United have a numerical advantage where Lisandro Martinez could just play a line breaking pass into Christian Eriksen, and then he can turn and set Manchester United off into the middle third of play. Manchester United typically look to build up with their 2+4 shape or their 4+2 shape. Casemiro sometimes look to drop into a back 3 if or when both fullbacks advanced as well. So of course, situational, sometimes the situation changes in the game. Sometimes the fullbacks did look to advance, and when that happened, Casemiro often dropped back into a back three, and it allowed Manchester United to again still build up an extra man with Forest's first line of pressure. Now moving on to how Manchester United attempted to play in the middle third, Manchester United looked to play through the wider areas, looking to combine overload and create wide triangles and numerical superiority. Manchester United looked to work the ball quickly from the overloaded side to the underloaded side, and again looked to have qualitative superiority, something that we talked about when watching Manchester United in Football Manager, and why Bruno Fernandes was key when he received the ball, why he was key to then quickly switch it to the other side. The fullbacks played narrow and made underlapping runs when getting further forward. This wasn't necessarily a general rule where every time Manchester United went forward the wing backs looked to underlap, but when the fullbacks did get further forward, they did make underlapping runs rather than overloading or overlapping runs, because the wingers looked to stretch the pitch and hold their width. Bruno Fernandes was key. Manchester United found him in pockets of space, with Bruno Fernandes constantly operating in between Nottingham Forest defensive lines, especially between the defensive line and the midfield line as well. Bruno Fernandes constantly operating, looking for space to receive the ball, and Manchester United often finding him. Again, we can see Manchester United shape here in the middle third, a flat back four we've got here with the two holding midfielders, Bruno Fernandes in the pocket, and then we've got the two wider players just stretching wide, the two wingers looking to create wide combinations. Now this could be with the wing back, defensive midfielder, or the winger. Bruno Fernandes sometimes could shift over to be the top of the triangle or part of the triangle. Even WIFI could move over and be part of the triangle. The two centre backs as well were no strangers being part or the base of that triangle. As we can see with these images, now Manchester United looked to play quick combinations out wide, created a wide triangle and creating a numerical superiority 3 versus 2 out here in this wider area. But also note how Fernandes is looking to receive the ball in between Nottingham Forest's lines, and there is a big line here, big gap between the defensive line and the midfield line, and if Bruno Fernandes is found here, that could be danger. Now here we can see after successfully combining down the left hand side, Eriksen is now looking to play the ball quickly to the underloaded flank. Now this is obviously part 1 of the image, and we can see here Bruno Fernandes, he's actually holding his run. Nottingham Forest and Manchester United's attackers are actually trying to push back. They're trying to go and push back, whereas Bruno Fernandes is actually holding his run because he knows now he can be found in space. And if we go to the second image, he's found in space, and then Eriksen obviously finds him and he can play the ball out wide to Anthony, who's now 1v1 with a defender, which is what we call qualitative superiority. I struggle with that word. What I also did manage to capture as well is Eriksen looking to go over into that wider area in order to create that overload and those wide combinations. So this is before it's happening, and we can see here, just look at Eriksen before attempting to create the wider overload. You can see Eriksen scanning and backpedaling, so he's scanning behind him, making sure he's moving into spaces, but also he's backpedaling to go into that wider area, create that combination and overload, and Martinez plays the ball into the feet, and also with that pass he's broken Nottingham Forest's defensive line. And like I said, Bruno Fernandes was a key player in this match for Manchester United, as they often look to find him in between the lines. This was a common theme that we saw, Bruno Fernandes looking, scanning again, and just finding areas and space and pockets to be in for Manchester United to find him. That is one pass into him. Here's another pass where he's in acres of space. Eriksen finds him with a left-footed pass, and Bruno Fernandes, acres of space. He will be able to turn with the ball, find Anthony again for a 1v1 duel. Here are the fullbacks positioning, narrow. The fullbacks played narrow and involved with the build-up, but they made underlapping runs when getting further. Wingers held their width. Well, I say the wingers held their width. We can actually see Aaron Wan-Bissaka here on the right-hand side with Anthony coming inside, but it's all situational. Now, if we go to the next image, we can see Anthony where he's received the ball out wide on that flank, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka is making that underlapping run. Whenever Anthony has the ball out wide, that triggers sometimes Wan-Bissaka to make that underlapping run, and the same would happen on the left hand side. Now moving on to the final third, Manchester United's chance creation against Nottingham Forest. Both wingers looking to hold their width but made inverted movements with the ball. The wingers were also direct towards goal, looking to dribble with the ball towards goal or take shots. They weren't afraid to take any long shots. They were the main attacking outlets. Combinations around the box with WIFI playing with back towards the goal, something that I mentioned in Football Manager when looking at the highlights, and he linked up with the runners making runs off him, or he could link up with Bruno Fernandes, sometimes actually making an up, back and through pass, and that sometimes broke down the Forest defence. Manchester United often took shots when they had sight at goal, so it wasn't all fancy tiki-taka around the box trying to work the ball into the box when players like Rashford, Fernandes, Eriksen as well actually, and Anthony, when they had the ball and they had sight at goal, often they would shoot. So here we can see the wingers often looking to make runs in behind Weghorst, and Weghorst plays with his back towards the goal, looking to link up play. And if you're looking at the defensive body positioning, it's quite difficult to deal with, having players run off of you but also having a player with his back towards the goal. And again, just look at Bruno Fernandes, acres of space. Next image, Weghorst plays with his back towards the goal, looking to link up play with Bruno Fernandes around the Forest area and box. A lovely touch from Weghorst there into Bruno Fernandes. And also shoot on side, Rashford looking to shoot on side despite having a passing option. I wanted to show this image here because again, it shows you that they're trying to shoot on side despite having a passing option. It is something that they wanted to do. Bruno Fernandes is ready to receive the pass, but even looking at his body position, and it looks like even if he receives the pass, his first thought is to have a pop at goal. Next clip, Eriksen, similar around the box. As soon as he receives the ball, one thought in his mind, and that is to shoot. Bruno Fernandes again looking to shoot around the box. Now moving on to the defensive and transition notes, how Manchester United defended and looked to transition against Nottingham Forest. Manchester United looked to counter press after losing the ball. Now what I've noticed, this could have been exploited as the Manchester United players were not always in close proximity after losing the ball. If Forest had the quality and the purpose speed on the ball once they received the ball, sometimes after winning it, and Manchester United's shape was just disorganized, they could have exploited or attempted to exploit their counter press a little better. After winning the ball, Manchester United's first pass was always forward, or often forward, looking to counter after winning possession. Bruno Fernandes often man-marked Forest's pivot player, so this also stopped or halted Forest trying to play out from the back, and Weghorst initiated the high press. They attempted the high press as something, or it's not something that they always do in every single game. If you watch Manchester United against Arsenal, or if you watch them against Manchester United, it's clear to see that they're operating in a mid block. It's not something that they often do, but today is something that they did do. They can actually mix up the press, but today, I keep saying today, against Forest, they did use a high press and they looked to force Forest wide. So here we can see with Weghorst's body shape how he's trying to angle or guide the goalkeeper to kick the ball out wide. Bruno Fernandes is keeping tight on the Forest pivot player as well. Again, he doesn't want to pass it into the pivot player because Bruno Fernandes is marking tightly, and also Weghorst is trying to force the goalkeeper to play the ball out wide. Manchester United looking to counter press immediately after losing possession of the ball. I believe this was a pass to Weghorst, or intended to Weghorst. They lost the ball, and immediately Malaysia, Eriksen and Weghorst went to counter press the ball. And obviously Manchester United looking to counter when they do win the ball. Immediately after gaining possession, the first pass often was forward. Manchester United just regained possession here. Casemiro receives the ball, and first thought is a pass forward. And here we can see runners off the ball as well. Anthony this time on the left hand side. Rashford swapped flanks. He's on the right hand side. Eriksen does make a move forward as well, and so too Bruno Fernandes. Weghorst curses run when pressing, guiding Forest keeper to play it wide. We can see it looks like an awkward body shape there. It looks awkward, but he's actually curved his run. Instead of running straight, if he's run straight, he can actually have some passing options open, but he's curved his run slightly, and what he's doing is trying to force the goalkeeper to kick the ball into the wider area, in which he does successfully. So that wraps up the match analysis. What we are going to do now is go into Football Manager and look at the replicated tactic. Let's go. So I hope you enjoyed that mini analysis of me breaking down Manchester United against Nottingham Forest. If you did enjoy it, again, feedback that's going to be very important for me as well, especially in my career. If I want to get if I want to get in better, if I want to improve, receiving some of your feedback is obviously going to help. So that would be hugely appreciated. What we are going to do now is break down this tactic, and first off, we can start in possession. With the mentality, we're going to start with a positive mentality. The attacking width, we can just leave it with fairly wide. If you really wanted to, you can stretch the pitch and try and get the ball into those wider areas, but we've just left it with fairly wide. The approach play, we are going to play out from the back and also focus down both flanks as well, trying to intensely attack down both flanks like Manchester United did, but also we are looking for those wide combinations. Passing directness, we've knocked it down to shorter, but with the tempo, it's on slightly higher. I did start with standard because I wanted that patient build up. Sometimes though, in Football Manager, things just got a bit too patient. So what we did do is knock the tempo up to slightly higher. And for in possession, that is it really. Now in the final third, we can do shoot on sight. I did mention shoot on sight, but we don't want everybody to shoot on sight around the box. Actually, what I'm looking for is my Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Anthony, maybe Christian Eriksen to shoot more often, because those are the guys with some decent long shooting ability. So I don't want everybody. I want people that are capable of shooting to do the long shots, but also with the underlaps as well. Now what I've done is I've kind of used player instructions to try and get the underlapping runs rather than looking for the underlapping runs, because like I said, it wasn't something that Manchester United always looked to do. It was just something that I noticed when the wing backs did get further forward, they made underlapping runs instead of overlapping runs. So it's not that Manchester United constantly looked for it, it's something that they did do when it did come when they did have the opportunity. In transition, counter press and counter. Now actually I didn't use counter press. The main reason being is because just like in real life, when I mentioned how it could be exploited in Football Manager, it was exploited. So I felt it was just best for results sake to leave it out. And then when possession has been won, we are going to counter. For the goalkeeper in possession, we are looking to distribute the ball to the centre backs and we are going to take short kicks and do short kicks. We are going to take short kicks. Now, out of possession, we are going to operate with a high press. The defensive line is also going to be on higher, prevent the short goalkeeper distribution, more often trigger press, and also get stuck in. That's not it actually. That's not it. We are also going to trap outside. Hopefully, we are going to get Weghorst making those similar movements, trying to force Nottingham Forest out wide, because it is Weghorst or the striker here that is going to be initiating the press, this high press in Football Manager. Now, time for the player roles. In goal, we are going to be using a sweeper keeper on support. Can David De Gea do this against all teams? Possibly not. I think against Nottingham Forest, he was allowed to, because it's Nottingham Forest. Quality wise, Man United are going to back themselves against Nottingham Forest, but against an Arsenal or a Manchester City or a Liverpool, they may mix up the build-up play and may kick it long sometimes, or longer, rather than trying to play out from the back constantly. So we are using a super keeper on support for Lisandro Martinez. We are using a ball playing defender, and we are also asking him to stay wider. Same too with Raphael Varane. This just helps us when we are looking to build up from the back. Now for the fullbacks, I am going to have them on fullback on attack. I do want them to get further forward, not all the time. I think a wing back is going to be way more aggressive in timing his runs forward. I think a fullback is going to be a little bit more reserved, but also we're going to ask them to sit more narrow, and this is what is going to help us make those underlapping runs, because these wingers here are going to be staying out wide, and when the fullbacks do get further forward, they should be sitting in a more narrow area or a more narrow position, and that allows them to make underlapping runs rather than overlapping. Now moving in to central midfield. For the Casemiro, well actually we're just going to leave it like this: a defensive midfielder on support and a deep line playmaker on support. And actually we are going to get this deep line playmaker to pass it shorter, because in Football Manager, in the match engine, he did lose the ball far too often, and sometimes it's because He's got the supportive duty. We've got the positive mentality. So when he gets the ball, sometimes his first thought is to play that defense splitting pass, and sometimes it ruins the attack. Rather than helping us, sometimes it ruins the attack, because not all the time we want the ball played that quickly and that early, because we do want to encourage Forest or the opponents to press. Now moving on to the attacking midfield, we've already set the instructions. I've set them just so I can explain it a little easier. Shoot more often. Like I said, we want players with that quality to shoot more often, which is going to be Bruno Fernandes. We do have shorter passes similar to Eriksen, though Bruno Fernandes doesn't have a playmaking role. He still often tried that killer pass, and sometimes it's just ruined the attack. We do have move into channels. Now this helped us a lot, like you saw when we beat Palace 8-0. A lot of the goals was Bruno Fernandes running into the channel, so this helps us a lot. Roam from his position, like in the match analysis, I want to find him in space, and I want Bruno Fernandes to look for that space, especially in between the lines, but also to stop them, or to stop the AI or the opponent from playing out the back so easily. I do have him marked or marking the opponent's pivot player. So that's Bruno Fernandes. For Marcus Rashford, we do have an inside forward on attack. He's going to be staying wider and shooting more often. For Anthony, we're going to use an inverted winger on support, both making inverted movements and similar, shoot more often. Lastly, for the workhorse role, we could have used a couple. We could have used a pressing forward, given that we are pressing high. We could use a pressing forward on support, which I did try, but I noticed I get more of back to goal action with a deep line forward on attack. On support, it didn't really help us on attack. He wasn't really great, or he wasn't really using the outlet as well. As we saw David De Gea earlier just lump the ball forward to Weghorst. This could be partly down to because the striker is on the attacking duty. And that there effectively wraps up the tactic. Here we've created Erik ten Hag's 4-2-3-1 that he used against Nottingham Forest. If I load up the full version, here we are. It's the exact same. Now I do have a mid-block version where we've increased the passing, increased the tempo. We've obviously dropped the line of engagement to a mid-block, and yeah, you can attempt to play a mid-block. Now this was kind of inconsistent for me throughout the season, and what we are going to do now is look at the results. Let's look at the results and see how well we did with this Ten Hag tactic. So in the Premier League, we were the league winners. We won 32 out of the 38 games played. We drew 4, all 4 games away from home: Fulham, Tottenham, West Ham and Chelsea. We also lost 2, again, all from away from home: Everton and Wolves. We had 100 points on the table. Now in the Europa League, we were the runners up. We lost 2-1 to Lazio. Ciro Immobile scoring in the 91st minute to break our hearts. Now you can see here Lazio had 17 shots at our goal. Like I said, sometimes we just allow way too many shots at goal. I did try and fix this actually. I did try and fix this in the FA Cup. So for one game only, I did try to move my DMs into CMs. We did win comfortably. We won 3-0, but did it help? Really, I wouldn't say so, because Newcastle had 15 shots. So for you guys, that could be kind of a task for you guys. Try and have the defensive output a little bit better. Try and fix the issues that we are currently having. Also, in the Carabao Cup, we were the winners. We beat Arsenal 2-1 in the final, which was some time ago. We are playing on small database, so full match details are not available. In the league, we did have the most points per game. We had the most goals as well, 106 goals, most shots for, but not with the fewest shots against. We come in 4th place, which isn't too bad, I guess, but it could improve. Looking at the average possession, 57% of the ball, which is decent enough, and 6 when it comes to the pass completion ratio. Most tackles won, not in the top 8. Most dribbles made, not in the top 8. We did have the most clean sheets and the fewest conceded. The top goal scorers, Weghorst impressively scored 28 goals. Looking at the top assists, Rashford, Fernandes and Anthony all in that list. Weghorst, Fernandes and Rashford all in the most shots list as well, which is kind of encouraging given that we've given them the instructions to shoot more often. Most man of the match awards, we have 4 players there. Christian Eriksen with the most key passes. It wouldn't surprise me if majority was that from set pieces. Dribbles made and tackles won, nobody in the top 8, with David De Gea with the most clean sheets. Data hub wise, guys, things look absolutely a-okay, especially the goal output with high expected goals and strong defending. The XG table, we are overperforming with everything here, so that is even the league position actually, which is surprising. The goalkeeper, impenetrable defense and quiet defense there as well. So in the data hub, everything is looking a-okay, but also the squad stats, Weghorst scoring 43 goals in all competitions, Rashford scoring 26, Bruno Fernandes with 19, Sancho with 16, Anthony with 12, Martial with 11, Van der Beek also with 11. So we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players with double figures. And looking at the top assist as well, Luke Shaw with 10, Eriksen with 12, Sancho with 13, Rashford with 14, Fernandes with 8. Fernandes with 18 and Anthony with 19. Unfortunately though, that wraps up today's video. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to play a game at the end of this video. I'm just looking at the recording time. We're at 46 minutes, which is a long time. So we might play this game. In case we don't, my name was RDF Tactics. It's been a pleasure recording this video for you guys. Again, feedback on this will be hugely appreciated. If you're new or you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed. If you want to leave a comment, that helps with the algorithm, but make sure you smash that like button. That is really, really important. Thank you guys, and shout out to my patrons as well. I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. God bless. Peace out. So if you did make it this far, thank you, but it also means that I did decide to add a game at the end of this video just so you guys can see the tactic play out more so in Football Manager, which kind of the whole point in this video was to talk about the match tactics in real life and how to replicate that into Football Manager. This match here it's really just a bonus. So this is the team, and it's kind of literally the exact same team. Well, if you put Malaysia here, actually, this here is the exact same team that Manchester United played against Forest with. So let's start and let's get stuck in. So here is the first highlight. Here's Perisic, and Wan-Bissaka wins the ball. Very good defender there. Here's Wan-Bissaka. Eriksen plays it to Bruno Fernandes. Weghorst is free. That should have been 1-0 to Manchester United. But there is Manchester United looking to find Bruno Fernandes in space in between the lines. Look how dangerous this is. He pulls Romero out from the defense line. Basuma can't get there, and it leaves Weghorst in space. It should be 1-0. It should be 1-0. Here's Malaysia. Plays it into Bruno. Christian Eriksen. Looking out wide to Rashford. Nice running by Rashford there. He's all alone here. Good defending by Tottenham. Here's Christian Eriksen. Martinez. Malaysia out wide. Rashford should be, again, it was offside, but we should be winning. Here's Christian Eriksen, is about to whip in the corner. Rafael Varane, and it's 1-0 to the Red Devils. Christian Eriksen whips it in for Rafael Varane's first goal of the season. Of course, it's the first game of the season. Eriksen whips it in, and Rafael Varane just puts his head on the ball. It's 1-0 to Manchester United. Nothing fancy for the first goal, but here comes another highlight, and it comes from another set piece. It's Christian Eriksen whips it in, and it's headed out. Bruno Fernandes is inside, and it's 2 goals. 10-0. Tottenham clear the lines, but not well enough. And it's Manchester United now 2. Tottenham Hotspur 0 inside 30 minutes. This has been a very, very good half for Manchester United. This is a good header out. Casemiro picks up the ball. Bruno Fernandes in space inside the box. The defender there, who is it? Kulusevski. He's got to be doing better. Here's Christian Eriksen with another corner. Rafael Varane. We've scored 3 goals from set pieces, which, people, I do have a set piece routine. Don't make me. I will go and look at the goals that we did score from set pieces at the end of this game, actually, just to show you guys not every goal was from set pieces. But if we do look at the match stats as well, we've had 15 shots at goal, 9 on target. So we're putting the pressure on, Luckily, we are scoring goals resulting from the resulted corner from the opportunities that we are actually creating. But here is Perisic with a throw-in. Son. Perisic, good tackle by Casemiro, but it's fallen kindly to Højbjerg, and it's gone over the bar. So it's half time. Manchester United 3, Tottenham Hotspur 0. They haven't had a shot on target just yet. What we are going to do now is put our hands together and tell them we still can do it, boys. Keep going, and keep going. Now we are going to start this save, or this half, with a praise and shout. Martinez he's kind of having a difficult time out there, I guess. He's on a yellow card. He's also on a 6.4. So we are going to bring on Harry Maguire. We're also going to bring on Garnacho for Weghorst, actually. We're going to put Rashford up top, put Garnacho on the flanks, and tell them there's just no pressure. There is no pressure. So we're having lots of opportunities at goal. I mean, we've had 30 shots almost. We're definitely going to have, yeah, there we are, 30 shots now at goal. Now, this could be down to Rashford, Fernandes, and the likes of those players shooting often, but we have created 7 half chances with a respectable XG as well, 2.83, and that is about to be the final. Oh, that is the final whistle from today's game where we smash Tottenham 3-0. It would have been nice to score more goals from open play, but then again, the reason why we did have those corners in the first place was because of the opportunities that we were creating. And I'm just going to look at the pass map. This was the pass map from the game as well. Kind of a 2-4 shape. A 2-4 shape when we are in possession, and I think in real life the fullbacks are a little bit more reserved than that, but that is very, very difficult to achieve in FM. So looking at the goals from corners, we did actually score the most goals from corners, but Manchester City are literally 1 behind us, West Ham are 4 behind us, and if we're looking at the goals from indirect free kicks as well, City have scored 8 and we scored 6. So actually, and counting the direct free kicks and penalties as well, Manchester City actually scored more set piece goals than we did, but of course the goals, the set piece routine really does help. You can download it, the tactic and the routine, or you can remove the routine if you don't want to score as many goals from set pieces. But I do feel when it comes to the amount of times that I hit the woodwork, I do feel I'm a bit at disadvantage if I don't use it. And a game like this in the final is kind of what I'm getting at, where we hit the woodwork twice. I mean, we had a lot of chances. We've hit the woodwork twice, and well, we didn't score any set piece goals, but we do hit the woodwork so often. I kind of feel that set piece goals, it's kind of a nice balance. But that's it for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I have recording it and making it. I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. God bless and bloop.